Hello, my name's Duncan and welcome to Back Away from Donkey. And today I am doing an original tag, and I think this is my first original tag. And it's the Sod's Law tag. Nod to Parkinson's Law, which is the law that any work you do will always stretch yourself to fit the allotted time. And a nod to Murphy's Law, and there's a difference between Murphy's Law and Sod's Law. Murphy's Law is, if anything bad can happen, it sort of will happen. But as we here over in the UK and Britain are basically pessimists, Sod's Law, which is said a British axiom, is basically if anything bad is going to happen, it will definitely, most definitely happen. It's because we're a bunch of pessimists. And it's also sort of a nod to the buttered toast phenomenon. You know, you drop some toast, butter side down, always, no matter what. Even though so-called they've done scientific tests that says it doesn't always happen, it does. Sorry, just does. So yeah, so this is the Sod's Law Booktube edition. So I've got a bunch of questions here that I wrote up this morning. I thought seemed pretty good, and I'm going to answer them, and then I'm going to tag a bunch of people. So I don't know who I'm tagging, but we will tag a bunch of people. So yeah, so my first question is, it is known, I think, in Booktube circles, that the video that you spend the most amount of time on is going, and the most amount of love to, is going to be the one that has the fewest views. I'm sorry, it just happens. All the least amount of attention. You know, the one that you really, really love and you put your heart and soul into it. You really have. So, name that video. So I had a couple of prospects for this one, but I went for my Ray Bradbury one I did on Now and Forever, which is a great book. And I put a lot of work into it. I think I could do better now because it was a year and a half, 2 years ago, because I went back to have a quick look at it, and I got my wife to do some voiceovers, and I think obviously my sound's a bit better, so I can make that sound a bit better, and I could probably do a better job now. But I put a lot of work into it, and it got reasonable, okay views, but considering the amount of work I put in proportionally, it probably didn't. But yeah, we've all got videos like that. I've got a couple like that. So that's question one. Question two. The video you had the most disasters putting together. Mine's quite an old one near the beginning. I did The Pulp Jungle by Frank Gruber. And actually I was talking about Frank Gruber briefly this morning. But yes, by Frank Gruber. And for some reason I remember recording it. I remember I didn't record a bit. Sound went off. And it all went a bit sort of totally disastrous. I re-recorded it, and then when I was editing it, I ended up having to edit a load of stuff that I try and avoid huge amounts of editing and huge amounts of cuts. And I remember this one being an absolute nightmare. So yeah, so there's that video. So I'll put links to these below so you can all go and have a look at them and give them some love or laugh at them, whatever you want to do. So question three. So this is like the opposite of question one. So it's an off-the-cuff video, the one that you just chuck together as just a, don't care about it. Don't care about it at all. Just chuck it up, and you end up getting ridiculous amounts of views and for you, and it's got really popular, and you don't know why, and it's really, really strange. And I'm going to put together a video I did about mass market paperbacks, saying that we all should love them. And this was a brief response. Steve Donahue made an offhand comment in the video about nobody likes mass market paperbacks. I love them. And I did this quick video just saying how we should all love them, and they're historically important, and there's books that go on there. And this video has got quite a lot of views for me. It's not my highest rated one, but that's a silly Amazon one. But it's got a load of views, and every now and then somebody puts another comment on it saying, I love mass market paperbacks as well. And it's just sort of still there, and it's still, if you look at if you are sad and look at your statistics, my statistics over the past few months, every month it's right up there, always. That one, people seem to fall upon it and discover that one. So yeah, so that's what we want to hear. Here's a video you did off the cuff that just weirdly did really, really well. Next one is about books. Okay, and this is sort of like, don't believe the hype. So a book you were really looking forward to, heard all the hype about it, and you read it, and it was a bit of a, I don't get that at all. Mine actually is, weirdly, an Andy Weir book, Project Hail Mary, which I know everybody loves. I really love The Martian. I really like Artemis. I think Artemis is highly underrated. And Project Hail Mary, I read it and thought, yeah, it's okay. But considering the hype I was hearing, I was just a wee bit disappointed. I know it's probably a surprising one for me, but yeah, it just Not that it didn't work. It was okay, but don't know. Maybe I need to reread it at some point. But yeah, I found that one just a little bit disappointing. Okay, we all have one, don't we? We have a book that we have always been excited to read, and we always plan to read it. And every time we go to read it, something happens, and you end up reading something else. This one I've had for years and years, probably decades. James A. Mitchell, Space, and it's meant to be stunning. Okay, I've had this, and every time I go to read it, something happens and I don't read it. It's actually a big book, page-wise. I know it's going to be really good. Actually, weirdly, it's got no page numbers in. Weirdly, it has no page numbers in. But yeah, I always go to read this one. Never do. Don't know when I'm going to get around to it. I'm not sure I'm going to have time to read it this summer, though. It could work for the big book thing that's going on. Who knows? But yes, we've all got one of those books, haven't we? So let's hear yours. So, my next question. A Booktube event that you've always wanted to take part in, and you plan to sometimes, and you just never get to do it. This is probably more applicable to people who've been on Booktube for more than a couple of years, but Non-Fiction November. I keep meaning to do Non-Fiction November. I don't read enough non-fiction. I think a lot of us fiction readers can say that. This year I'm trying to read sort of a non-fiction book a month if I can, but Non-Fiction November I keep meaning to take part in. Never get around to it. So it happens. I think it's November. I think it's because it's November, and because we're just before Christmas, and we're going to wrap up the year, and we're trying to catch up on stuff. I think that could be the issue with it. But Non-Fiction November. I'll try again this year. See what happens. Okay, next question is a book that you've ended up with multiple copies of, because every time you go to buy it, you forget that you've already got a copy of it, so you keep looking at it. And mine is Crucifixion Squad by Peter Beer. I have 2 of them here. I did have 3 of them, I think, and that is the sequel to Urban Prey. The thing is, the book I'm after is the 3rd one, which is the Crucifixion Squad, but I keep thinking that that's the one I'm missing, and it happens, and I've said that is what happened, and I ended up buying it. So, yep, one of these things. Next question. Don't know what number we're up to. 8, I think. Yep. So, next question is a video as a booktuber that you've been trying to put together for the longest time, and you never put it together. You never end up doing it. Mine, notoriously, is a series of videos I want to do on Philip K. Dick films and books, and I want to relate how the film is different to the book, or how they're the same. And the first one would be the Blade Runner one. I have made these videos, like I've half written scripts and what have you, so stupidly complicated that I never get around to producing them. And I've been going on about this for about 2 years. I'm not going to get to them this year, but maybe next year I will finally get these videos done. And it's just, we've all got stuff like this, haven't we? We're all stupid people. Okay, next one. The final question is a book that you've been trying to get hold of, and for some reason, every time you try to get hold of it, or you find a copy or something, you don't get it. And this could be one that you, from series you collect, an old collectible or something like that. Mine is The Lord of the Rings. Not the 4 or 5 versions I've got behind me, but I want there was a version published in 1978, which has got the cover of the Nazgul from Ralph Bakshi's animated version of Lord of the Rings on the front of it. And I so want this copy. Ever since I've seen it, I've always wanted it. I've been looking for it for years. Every now and then I stumble across one somewhere and it's either too much money, or I've seen it listed on places like A-Books and that, and if you look under the ISBN it's listed under, it could be any copy of Lord of the Rings from that period. It may not actually be that one. So I never end up getting it, and I really, really want it. So if anybody out there land finds a copy, because I live in a place where we've not really got second-hand bookshops, so isolated, and if I want to get to any, I've got to go swimming across the Pentland Firth. So that's it. So yeah, that is my Sod's Law tag, and I hope people might take part in it. And I'm going to tag a load of people below, probably all the usual suspects, and maybe somebody will do it. So I hope you enjoyed that. An original tag by me called the Sod's Law tag. Slightly more pessimistic than Murphy's Law. Anyway, I will speak to you all very soon, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.